I'm telling you, man.
Hey, fam. Welcome back to yet another episode of I'm Telling You.
I'm telling you.
Dude, you know what? I actually kind of prefer that over the Ethel. I'm going to be honest. I actually like that. That's, especially coming off the holidays. That's like nice little like being
You just turned them on.
Yeah, but in all the right ways. Yeah,
I saw the table lift a little bit. He was excited.
It was more than a little. Hey-o.
Talk about a Woody, huh?
So anyway.
Yeah, cats out of the
That worked
bag.
for me, dude. Yeah. Whoa.
We got Philly D, Mr. Gemini, clickety clack a fact check Miss JD, and our special guest Artie Hoffman in the house.
Hello.
Yeah, but as always, we like to start our program usually with, if you'd like to reach out to us, hit us up, all three of us, ITY at directionsinmusic.org, or you can get us individually at
GEMINI at directionsinmusic.org.
Yeah, or you can hit up Philly D at PHILLY at directionsinmusic.org. Yeah, for first-time listeners, this is a 30-year friendship of, you know what, I'm gonna do, you just coined this. If you want to feel human, come see us. That's what we do here. We get us back to, we don't care who you are, what the background, nationality, color, creed, gender, whatever you identify, we don't give two shits. All we want is an honest, open, accepting conversation.
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Fucking everything, as long as we can have an actual conversation.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, dude, let's talk about how nobody gets Hot Wheels for Christmas no more. What's up with that? You don't want to get like the loopity loop and then the wall freaking ride and like.
That is true.
I'm just saying,
you don't see
man.
as much of that stuff anymore.
Mr. Potato Head.
Dude, right, dude.
But everybody's on the
Mr. Potato Head
electronics.
was like one of the dopest freaking toys you could ever have gotten.
We do have a Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head in our house, so
You're just like, we have both.
we're trying to keep it real,
Well, dude, you can't,
But it's all electronics now. I mean, that stuff gets.
Wait, Mr. Potato Head is electronic?
No, I'm saying the interest is all in electronics these days.
I'm gonna say, I was like, dude, how is
screens
Potato Head electronic now? Like, if you put his ears in wrong, they're like ears upside down. Is it like?
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. That's exactly what
Potato
happens.
Head. I feel so bad for this guy.
No, it's
He's given us so many years, decades.
it's the iRobot Potato Head.
Dude, poor. It's
You actually put a potato in them to power them.
That's what it's.
And then after so many weeks, it builds up enough
saw that
charge
on Mr. Wizard.
It can walk across your countertop and can do chips.
And then after that, you can have them like mixing martinis for you. Is that where it goes?
And then a couple weeks later,
I just thought of
so.
So they have a version of Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head, and they get together and they make little French fries.
You write that down. That's fucking funny.
Oh my goodness, Ethel! Would you look at that?
Well, dude, that's like, what is it?
What do they think of next?
Dude, in Pulp Fiction, when Uma Thurman's telling like the most horrible joke ever, where it's like Mama Tomato and Papa Tomato, and they're like all trying to like do this, that, and the other, and it's like Baby Tomato's lagging behind, and then like Papa Tomato goes back and like squashes the Baby Tomato and just goes, catch up. And that's it. There is nothing. That's the joke. That is it. That's all we got. I don't care what you're buying. That's all I'm selling. Here you go. No, dude, like dude, the green room was filled with the one-liners. I mean, what was his freaking I can't even remember, from Goodfellas, the comedian with that, and then like we were talking about Stephen Wright and like delivery, man. Delivery is where it's at.
That was great.
Oh, it's everything.
Dude, it is.
Delivery is everything.
It can be the worst joke or the worst comedian. If you have the delivery, all of a sudden it's just like, okay, no, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I don't care who you are, whether it's being like, I'm a comedian or giving a TED talk. If you deliver the statement correctly, dude, it's going to kill any room. You know, like.
I thought he was talking about the Deliverance movie.
I thought that was going to be that kind of book.
It's the delivery. Go ahead, squeal again. It's the delivery.
What? Dude, I just got freaking Mel Brooks. Was it Spaceballs? What? He said to comb the desert. We're combing the desert.
I'll tangent for you. Show mommy how the little piggies eat.
Christmas story. That's very appropriate. Hell yeah, dude. Are you kidding me?
And may the Schwartz be with you.
Dude, you know what? Like, we've talked Mel Brooks a few times.
I
Like,
see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
dude, I hate when I get my Schwartz twisted. All right. No, he got the upside. I got the downside. See, there's two sides to every Schwartz. Dude, no, we've been talking. We've been talking about how like Mel Brooks and cats like that, like you just can't do that anymore.
No, type of
well,
comics.
if you did,
It's like illegal or something.
well, but that's the thing. Is so like
People
if
take
you
offense.
did and you could get away with it, air quotes, get away with it, it'd have to be an art house film. And you'd be like, oh no, it's tastefully done. You'd have to go like avant-garde with your expression. You couldn't just be like mainstream, like, here we made fun of everything. No. Because I mean, that's what Mel Brooks did.
We got him combing the beach right now, sir.
Dude, I know.
You find anything? We ain't find shit.
Right? Well, no.
You know what that rereminds me? It reminds me of the movie Airplane. Airplane was all a pun on circumstances.
I have a drinking problem.
Splashes of... Oh my God.
I thought you were going to tell me that I have a drinking problem. All the bars are closed.
But no, dude, I was going to say in the movie Ice Pirates.
Striker.
Dude, the 1984 movie Ice Pirates, which is like one of my favorites.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude, Bruce Valanche like wrote that and was starred in it as well. There's a scene where you have like the sidekick, which would be like Star Wars would be Chewbacca, but it's a black guy, and he makes themselves like a C-3PO, but he's a black robot. And the captain of the ship looks at him, he's like, why'd you make the robot black? And he's like, because then he'd be perfect. It's like, yes. But dude, like you can't like, and even that, like that's a black personification. Like, dude, you're literally glorifying being black. It's powerful and strong. And it's like today you can't say that shit either. And it's like, well, what are we allowed to do anymore?
I hate
Cancel.
political correctness.
Cancel culture and all that.
Hate it. Oh, we're going to offend. And yet they have all these derogatory words on these songs that is absolutely god-awful, disgusting. And then they're tearing apart, whatchamacallit, Dr. Seuss.
Right.
But it's offensive. They take Santa Claus and turn him into this dark character during Christmas time. You're a jackass.
Some people just look for offense.
Well, yeah, but
they just look for offense.
But his point, like, and I agree, because wet ass pussy, WAP, is all of it. Like, that's okay. Everybody looks like you just like have housewives dropping their kids off at soccer, and they're just like dancing their bottom, and they're just like wet ass pussy. It's just like, are you serious? Like this is mainstream. This is what's on the radio.
Effing this. And
Ow,
effing
my balls.
And
Yeah, right. I can't say black person or Mexican, even though that's like a very
I don't say
specific
that.
statement.
Put it
and
this
it's
way:
like,
I have a problem with the word, with the phrase, and I'm sorry if I'm going to offend anybody. This is not an offense. This is just.
hey, this is your opinion. This is how
my
you roll.
thoughts can't stand the phrase Afro-Americans. You're black. I'm Jewish.
Well,
you're white.
but see, now here,
it's
this
like
is-
Afro. A lot of people don't have afros. A lot of people are not from Africa. So you're not. It's just you're black. It's not derogatory. It's just you are who you are. Oh wait, I got to tell you this one funny story. I have to share with you. This funny story.
by all means, abscond the mic, my friend.
So
this is
my
what we do
daughter.
here.
My daughter. All right, now she's 30. When she was 7 years old, I pick her up from school. All right, and she's all excited. It's all the weekend. I'm not with her mother at this point, and I pick her up, and she goes, "Daddy." I go, "What?" She goes, "I have a new brown friend." I go, "You mean black?" She goes, "No, she's brown." I said, "Well, then what are we?" She goes, "Duh, we're clear."
That's like some Scientology shit. Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Oh, that was so fun.
If you were less black, you'd be clear.
But that was coming from the innocence of a child, and it was just so great.
You have no pigment. There is no pigment. It's just skin.
Well, but I mean, going back to your statement, so like this is where, so I completely agree with you. However, you speak in the idea of Obama, his parents, one was African, one was American. He's African American. Like that's a literal correct expression.
All right. So people under those circumstances, it's a rarity.
Well, correct.
But it doesn't make everybody.
But then that's the thing, is he also just happens to be black.
He happens to be.
Well, because that's the thing.
He stumbled onto it.
It just happened.
No, because his father could have been South African, which would have been predominantly a British or white background from multiple generations as like Britain came down and, took over India and everything else. So he could have been African and his,
I could claim that I'm 136 Native American if I want. I mean, it's really not that much of a stretch. It could be true.
But so think about that. In that expression, he'd be Caucasian, but he'd still be African American.
I also can't stand the fact that they have to change the names of the football teams.
Oh my God.
Is the biggest joke in the whole world.
Dude,
it's ridiculous. I'm like speechless. It's just so insanely politically stupid beyond human comprehension.
And it's not even just that, because we've had this discussion
the tribes
before.
People that those things represented were actually upset when they got changed.
Yeah, no, right. But no, we've had this discussion before where it's like, dude, the words are what they're supposed to be. And when you modify the definition and now says this word means this, it's like, dude, my entire life I've spoken of my English language understanding is this means this, and every word is very specific. Now all of a sudden you get into this place where you're not even just changing what is or isn't okay to say. They're now telling you what everything does or doesn't stand for again. And it's like, wait. So now
you're trying to rewrite history, and it's ridiculous.
Every level,
and it's ridiculous.
Well, and like now you're asking the police to become morality police. You know what I mean? Like to judge you on moral issues, which really are none of their business. I mean, you can't police how people communicate with each other because it puts a monkey wrench in the whole works.
Because like, policing is supposed to be logic. I can't even say
something trying to make light of a situation that's difficult to deal with because I might offend somebody.
Well, because that's the thing.
Right? You also have freedom of speech to a certain degree still.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing is when you're when you're policing, you're supposed to be logical. You're supposed to be providing, a service, protecting the, the rights, and like that's your thing. Serve and protect. You're supposed to, to literally hold yourself to the highest level of the written law, which is logical. Mind you, it's written based, on emotional feelings where it's like, this doesn't feel right. This does feel right. We need to express this into physical terms so that if we get into these situations, we know what to do. They're, guiding statements. And, that's the thing is like, just because that's the word doesn't mean that is, or, so
we're talking about the letter of the law versus natural law or.
Well, I've said that many times. I uphold myself to a higher set of rules than that of, the written rule of man. Because, dude, to be human is to err. So my understanding is whether it's 0.1% or like 20% or dude, to be human, if it comes from us, somehow or another, something in there is not quite right. And for us to sit there and have to say, this is, the end all be all, this is the nth degree, like this is, dude, we can't say that. We're not intelligent enough to say that our rules are exacting enough that it really is succinct or impeccable with what makes us good people or humans.
A lot of what's now projected in the political world is all about control. It's no longer for the people, by the people. It's all about them wanting to control us and to turn us into a different society.
And I feel it's getting political, but at the same time, like I can't help but agree with you.
That's capitalism. I would say it's not political, it's capitalism.
Or socialized or socialist or whatever.
Well, I don't care what ism you want to put on it. Yeah. Yes, it's a control thing.
It's a control thing.
The easiest way to put it.
They don't want what's best for the public at all. It's all about power and control, greed. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. It's a fact. And they don't give a crap about the public. They really don't. It's all about the holy dollar. All about the holy dollar.
Well, I mean, do you think, here's one for you. Do you think psychedelics are illegal because they're dangerous for you?
No.
For you? No. They're dangerous for them.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's the same type of argument. And
So I would extend that. So smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol
is fine.
Doesn't open your mind.
Driving cars kills millions of people a year. You don't see them stopping that.
Well, the simple fact is smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol does not open your mind. Smoking weed, doing LSD, mushrooms, ecstasy.
Where could I score some?
We can talk after the show.
Are you making a menu? What are you doing?
What is this?
Two number sixes, a three.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that memo on that one.
But I'm just saying, if you just look at that fact, like, do you truly think that these things have been made illegal for your best interest?
No, I don't. The general public does.
I would think. Yeah.
Look at JD. She's like, no, hard pass.
Well,
hard
no,
pass.
because there's been actual studies where the government has actually done like exercises and experiments using these types of substances to alter your mind and get this knowledge that you can make yourself more aware, like by taking down that veil of your consciousness and like allowing yourself to, like, I guess, access your pineal gland or how.
So what I'm picking up spiritually from what you just said, and I'm being very sincere, when you do those type of drugs, what it does is the reason why your mind is able to be so brilliant or so creative is because those drugs take away all your fears. So when you live a life with absolutely no fear, the limitations are what's the word? The goals are endless. Of creativity, of strength, of everything when you eliminate all fears. So these drugs alter your mind. So all you feel is love, all you feel is creativity. You feel nothing but that loving feeling. And fear is not even a factor. It's not even in the equation.
Well, and that's a dangerous thing to a government.
It's very, yeah.
I mean, I think I would say that's a dangerous thing to any governing body.
Well, yeah.
So whether you want to talk like organized religion, cult, sex, blah, blah, I mean, like however you want to defy a collective, free thinking ultimately, which I mean, honestly, I think is like the biggest gift that we're supposed to be exploring as like fifth dimensional beings on a third dimensional plane is what it is to be an entity being human. Like we're all supposed to be actors right now.
Now what is happening though?
That's why I say it's a video game because we're just here, just like let's go have fun.
But the narrative is pushing tribalism. The narrative is pushing. You're not like this person. They're not like you, and
not for me.
You're not important unless you're in this particular niche or.
The most creative people.
And you're not allowed to say anything about it that might be logical because then you're just branded with that same, you're a racist or you're
the people
this,
with
that.
the greatest gifts, the people with the greatest blessings are the ones that are not normal. And so there's nothing wrong. Well, they're afraid, I'm not normal. I won't be accepted. You don't have to be. It's all about expression.
It's better if you're not.
Just be your own self. Be unique. I mean, I'm 100%, and every family member in my family will tell you that I am different than everybody else in my family, and even with my friends and everybody, you're just different. You're just different, and so be proud to be different, but also be proud to be different when your intentions are with the best of intentions.
Right.
You don't want to be a radical or cause hell in other people's lives or even in your life. And, just for the sake of, I'm a radical, I want to be different, be different. That's great, but not at the harm of anybody else, but do it with positivity, do it with love. Yeah. Do it to explore, to create, to give, whatever. But like I said before, when you release all fear, that's why when people are on drugs, they have this human, unbelievable strength. Because fear totally, you have that, whether you call it adrenaline rush or whatever, but fear is not a factor. And you could do so much.
Bruce Lee's literal life practices and belief systems was about basically being like Neo in the Matrix, not breaking the rules, but pushing those boundaries. And I mean, honestly, I would say, his confidence or lack of fear saying, just because my human body is told by everybody else, this is the extent, I believe it's this, and do that. It's because he believed it.
I'll tell you what, and I can say this because I did do a marathon once. The first 6-7 miles, if you can make it through that, nothing beyond that is physical strength or endurance. It's all mental. And that's an interesting thing when you can reach that through. That was like the guy on those Matrix shorts that went through the Matrix from running
and he
so
was just
fast.
Like, you can see it like rip away for a moment.
You do, and I guess they call it runner's high in some circles, but you do reach that point where it's just kind of, you're going through the motions. Like your body's just doing what it's doing. Like I'm not even touching anything at this point. I'm in a whole different place, and to be able to reach that, man, wow.
Right. The only reason why there are limitations in this world or for anybody is because that's what you believe. If you believe in limitations, there's a certain limit, then that's your mindset. But, if you believe that everything is limitless, then you can go and go and go. And the perfect example is like, with the 4-minute mile. For many, many, many years, runners could not run a mile within 4 minutes, or it was always over 4 minutes. But as soon as the first guy, I don't know who it is, but as soon as the first guy broke that mile in less than 4 minutes, a lot of runners ended up breaking.
Oh no, it wasn't even a lot. It was like all of a sudden the numbers started dropping I think, too.
A lot.
Yeah, it wasn't like just like all of a sudden it was like, oh, he did it in 3 minutes and 58 seconds. It was like, 3:44, 3:42. Like it just kept going down.
Just kept going.
This.
Yeah. Oh. So it's like the mind is what limits you. It's not life. If you're using excuses because of them, because of this, because of that, that's why my life is like that. It's because you believed that you gave your power away. You literally gave your power away to the situation, to that person. So, you could achieve what you want to achieve. You might not be able to achieve it in this moment. It might take a little time for you to do what it is that you're set out to do. But within time, if you believe in it, and if it's within your heart and you want it that bad, then whatever your goal is, you will achieve it. You will achieve it. And but don't think that just stop blaming other people and stop blaming just the circumstances. Sometimes, the reason why people stay stuck, people grow comfortable in the uncomfortableness. And so the thing is, people are afraid of changes. So when you're going through a transformation, say you're trying to get out of one relationship and you want your freedom, or you want to get move from this job to that job, people have what's known as golden handcuffs. Golden handcuffs is when you're in a job or a relationship where you hate the job or you don't like the relationship, but the benefits are just good enough to keep you there. So your ego and your spirit are fighting with each other. The ego is saying, no, we got this, we got the security, we don't want to upset anybody, their expectations. The ego will keep you in check. But your spirit and your soul is saying, but I'm not happy, and I'm not happy. And what happens is that when you're not happy and you're not living your life to be happy, your body starts to react and you start to get sick and you'll break out in hives and you'll get the migraine headaches. And it's because you are not listening. You are not listening to your heart and soul of what feels right. And because it breaks the rules, your feelings or your goals breaks the rules or expectations of your family or your loved ones or your coworkers, whoever. So you're keeping in check. Your ego is keeping you in check rather than you going past the boundaries and to live according to what makes you personally happy. And you're not responsible for everyone else's happiness. So when you're doing whatever it is you're doing, I'm not doing this to hurt you. Now, what I'm doing, it might hurt you. It might hurt you. But I'm not doing this to hurt you. I'm doing this because this is what feels right in my heart. So if you choose to allow this, what I'm doing, to hurt you, well, then that's your choice. But just know that I'm not doing this with the intent to hurt you. I'm doing this to better myself or to go after my heart's desire, even though you might not agree. So the people who love you unconditionally will stand by your side. And the people who want to love you with conditions, you really don't need them in your life. Well, if you do this or if you're with them, then you're ixnayed from the family. And well, fine. Well, then guess what? That's the choice. But my choice is I'm still going to live to be happy. I'm going to still live to be my true self. And, I had this conversation with my mom one time, who I love more than life itself. And I always protected her from my father because he had a very challenging personality. And, and I, being raised in a Jewish family and everyone was Jewish. And, here I am, my first relationship with my first wife, Jewish. Now here I am, I'm breaking the rules. First of all, I'm the only one to get a divorce in my family. And then plus now I'm with my, my second wife. And I'm having a conversation with my mom, and I said, Mom, this girl that I'm with, you're absolutely going to love her. She's beautiful, not only on the outside, but on the inside. She's a beautiful person. You're going to love her. First words out of her mouth, is she Jewish? And I said, no, Ma, she's not, but you're going to love her. I promise you. And she goes, you know the kind of shit your dad's going to give me? I said, Mom, I'm not responsible for your happiness. I'm not doing this to hurt you. I said, I'm doing this because this is what feels right for me. That's the reason. And she goes, you're 100% right. I'll deal with it. So she chose.
But the fact that you could say that matter-of-factly like that with no emotion, no like, look, I'm not doing this to hurt you, but this needs to happen. This is part of like. This
is what feels right to me. Yeah. So my wife even said to me, like when we were being, like cuddly with each other in front of a warm fireplace, literally, I remember it happened like it happened yesterday. And so when we were discussing about possibly getting engaged and she said to me, well, what happens if your family disowns you, or what happens if you're cut out of the will or whatever? I said, so then that's their choice. I said, I'm following what's right in my heart. I said, but I feel like I know who's going to be with me and who's not going to be with me. The people who love me unconditionally, those are the people who mean most to me. They'll stick by my side. And the people who want to love me with conditions, well, that's their problem. Well, if you really love me, then you'll do this and you'll do that. No, well, if you really love me, then you won't put those conditions on me.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So I'll take it even one step further. There's a show on USA where it was called Suits, and there was these two guys that are like hard-hitting New York type like lawyers, where they're just like fast talking, shit talking, smarter than everybody in the room, mentalist types. And the one guy does something where the other guy is like, you shouldn't do this. Friends wouldn't do this. And he goes, no, you're wrong. He's like, friends can do this because at the end of the day, a friend's going to accept it and understand that. And because we are friends. And it's just like, son of a bitch.
Right. You accept the person for who they are.
There are no conditions.
You don't.
All accepting.
See, the problem is that you want that person to be, so let's just say I'm picking the partner of your life.
Assuming
you want that person to be how you want them to be, or you want that person to be how you think they should be.
Yeah, that's
and it's like, but you're not. You're
putting.
You're not accepting them for who they are. You want them to be how you want them to be, rather than accepting them for who they are.
And a lot of people do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all the time. But when you let go of expectations and just accept, so now you have control over yourself, and you have to decide. Given their personality, and given the way they are, is this good enough for me? And then am I willing to adjust myself, or am I willing to compromise with the situation? Whether it be the relationship or whether it be with the job, whatever it is, am I willing to make the adjustments to make this work? Or are you always going to be accommodating to everybody else, and you're the one that always has to be flexible according to other people's limitations and expectations, and then you're going to make your life miserable living in someone else's limited way of thinking?
Wow. Yeah. I'm thinking as he's saying this though, I'm thinking if I have something, like I have a morality about something,
said Artie,
and I feel a need to,
like, well, you're going to love me or you're going to hate me in life. Seriously, it's like, oh,
but to really make the right choice, I mean, you have to be willing to go against what everyone else believes.
Because not necessarily what everyone, right?
Well, the mainstream, the majority,
right? The majority,
yeah.
But
you also have to be willing to stand up for what you believe. So, like, going back to like the mind and how it's powerful and controlling, it's like it's as powerful as it can build you up or it can tear you down. It just depends on what you do with it. It's your tool at your disposal. And going back to the 4-minute mile, it was Roger.
Say that again.
So, but the interesting thing about that was that it took him. In 1954, he broke it at the age of 25, and he literally broke it by like milliseconds because it was 1 minute and 59 seconds and 4 milliseconds. Wow. And now it's, as of 2021, it's been broken by 1,663 athletes, but it's the standard now.
Right.
So it's like, you took something that was impossible, and someone accomplished it, but now it's the actual standard.
That's a great point.
So there's things in history that people should have broken out of the shell and made it their standard instead of keeping themselves either sheltered or oppressed, and either or trapped or limited by their own thoughts and minds, controlling themselves, thinking what other people And like you said, the fear of keeping other people's reactions in mind instead of, you can only control yourself and how you react and how you act. You can't control what anybody else is going to do. So at some point, you're going to have to be like, that's more of a you problem than a me problem. So I'm just going to keep going about myself.
I'm sorry for your problem.
Well, see, and you, as you're saying that, I'm thinking of just like, all right, so today how we went from UFOs to UAPs. It's like before it was taboo, kibosh, like, oh my God, you're a lunatic if you're even going to talk about this stuff. Now all of a sudden it's just like, we have proper vernacular for this. Congress is aware and we're working on it. Now all of a sudden everybody can talk about it.
Aerial phenomena.
Well, but it doesn't matter how you identify it. It's just, it's now been socially, acceptable to that point where it's just like, oh no, we can talk about it. I mean, you're still a lunatic if you believe in it, but we can talk about it. But yeah, over time things change. And yeah, what once was like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. And now all of a sudden it's just like, well, I mean, it's not that bad to talk about it.
I tell people, I said, if you feel like your life is limited, I said, it's only by your choice. I said, everything you have in life, you've desired. There's a difference between wanting and desire. And this is something that I've learned from Neil Donald Walsh, great author, spiritual author, Neil Donald Walsh. He said, wait, hold on a second. Wait. Neil Donald. He said, oh shit, I forgot what the hell he said. I just had a brain fart about it. No, but it really was. It was something very powerful. You know why? My mind goes in. There were so many things that I wanted to share. What the hell was it? Damn. I'll remember after the show. I can't believe it. Neil Donald Walsh. What the hell? He had so many epiphanies. I used to see him speak. I used to see him speak live, and the things that would come out of his mouth was,
if you're afraid to die, then you're afraid to live.
No.
I mean, that's a pretty good one. I'll be honest. That's,
No. Oh, shoot. Wait. Oh, this is one of the. It's not what I wanted to say, but but this is a major thing that he said that always stuck with me. He said, "Whatever you resist will persist, and whatever you obsess, you won't possess."
Right. So you gotta put it out into the universe and just let it go. Like, I planted the seed, sent it with love. We're done. It'll do itself.
So, again, it's all about what you believe in to make something happen.
Well, so, I mean, with all of that, one of my favorite things is from Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are correct.
Exactly.
And that's what you said, earlier in the green room about, negativity begets negativity, positivity gets, so whatever it is you put out there, which is like you just said, to whatever you obsess, you won't possess. It's like, if you constantly go after it, it's going to be all the negatives. I don't want an asshole in my life. You're going to be dating nothing but assholes.
Right.
If it's like, all I want is peace, love, positivity, but, and it's not like peace, love, positivity, you're going to be so obsessed with, having that you're not even if you had it, you wouldn't accept it or appreciate that gift. So you have to just be like, hey, peace, love, positivity, and just literally plant that seed, walk away, and just the rest of the day, just possess the idea of peace, love, positivity. And it just.
Oh, so this is what I wanted to say. So the difference between wanting and desire. That's what This is what Neil taught me. Wanting is just a thought. I want to become a millionaire. I want to be successful. I want to go to Hawaii. All right. Are you doing anything about it? So wanting is just a thought. That's all it is. Desire are your thoughts put into action, create your reality. So everything you have in your life, whether you like it or not, everything you have in your life right now, you have desired, because all of your actions have brought you to exactly who's in your life and what you have in your life. So if you desire something that bad, that you want that bad enough, then you have to be able to create the actions to make the reality the reality. Otherwise, it's just wanting. It's just your wants.
Yeah.
You can want all you want, but it's your actions that's going to cause it to happen.
Dude,
wait, I got to share with you this one thing. One of my friends who's a little on the heavy side. Not that he's super heavy, but he's a little heavy. And now he's saying to me, now we're at a pizzeria. We're enjoying a really good pizza, and he's feeding his face with pizza, like one after another after another. He goes, "Yeah, I'm trying to lose weight." I go, "Yeah, you keep trying." His actions are not following his words, or his words are not following his actions, or whatever. And it's like, he wants it. Yeah, I want to lose the weight. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm trying to lose the weight while he's eating pizza. So it's pretty funny. But that's the way people are with their life.
My dryer keeps shrinking my clothes. Oh, wait, it's my refrigerator.
Right.
But yeah, the other thing I was going to say, so a perfect example of talking about that, having that focus and just really going towards it.
Did you just say pervert example?
No, perfect. Born in Spain, raised in California.
I thought that was funny.
I don't sound like everybody else. It's all good. I don't. But perfect example is you were talking about, like, so you keep that focus, you maintain it, you go after it, it can't happen. So when I just started golf, not even 3.5 years ago, and getting my coach, doing it from the get-go, and really just focusing on it like an athlete would, where it's my job. I'm going to the range, I'm practicing, I'm playing my rounds, like I'm putting in the time, I'm putting in that focused effort. I went from the average of like 120 a round to like low 20s within a couple of months, and also getting under 100, like I think on like my second or third round. Like, I mean, it was just, it was not that inconceivable to me. Dealing with my coach and really going after it. And, you asked me before, what was one of...
How many times did you kick the ball out of the rough?
So being raised in the household I did, my father is very much, these are the rules and we stick to them for a reason. So the amount of time, so my coach told me, he's like, dude, are you a pro? He's like, are you getting paid for this? Is this your job? Is it? And I'm like, well, no. And he's like, fucking fluff your ball. He's like, who gives a shit? You're supposed to be having fun, right? This is a game, right? And I'm like, well, yeah. And I'm like, well, son of a... My father had infused into me this idea that it's so regimented and skillful. So when I went to actually play, and it's like, holy crap, not only could I do this, but I enjoy it. It's like, hey, what are the rules? I'm going to abide by them, and I'm going to crush it from the get-go. So, I mean, right out of the box, when I started playing, it was by the rules, no ifs, ands, or buts, as if I was on the PGA Tour. And it's like, these are the rules. This is what I got. This is my score.
If you want to be the best that you can be, I guess, that's the way to be. But, there's a difference between, some people being the best is fun, and then other times being the best or the most successful is too stressful, is very stressful. Oh, yeah. If it's taking away the quality of your life to have the most, then you have to decide which is more important, to be happy or to always have to be number one or always having to be successful. People are so afraid of failure. I tell people, I said, there's two types of really good There's two types of really good swimmers. There's the kind that's a really good swimmer because they love to swim.
Right.
They just love the act of swimming and their muscles get stronger. They love to swim. They love to be in the water. Then you have those swimmer who's really good because they're afraid that as the current is going down, you have Niagara Falls right here, the fear. People become really good at what they do. Are you fear driven, that why you become overly successful, or is it because of the love of the game or the love of the job or the love of whatever you're doing? So it's important to, again, it has to do with being happy. That's the bottom line.
Mindset, yeah, because like if you're obsessed with it, if you're like, oh my God, I got to do this. A
lot of people are successful because they're afraid of failure.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But then a lot of other people, and yet, even when they're successful, they're not happy because they're always afraid that they're going to lose it or they're not going to sustain it or somebody else is going to take it from, or whatever.
Someone's going to do it better, faster, cheaper.
Or whatever. Yeah. So again, it's all about wanting to do what you love to do. A lot of people left Wall Street because they couldn't deal with the stress and they ended up going to, a high 6-figure income or maybe a 7-figure income to making 60, 75,000 a year or whatever. Because they felt better. Because it made them feel better and the stress level was off. It's all about emotional happiness. With your job or with your relationship, are you happy? And if not, then you need to change. People are afraid of transformation. People are afraid of changes.
Yeah.
People are afraid to go without the security or not knowing. But this is where blind faith comes in. So you got to stay focused on where you want to be. And is it worth living in hell to sustain your security or what you think, that's all there is.
That's why I love that mantra, seek discomfort, by the way.
Well, yeah, because if you're not willing...
YouTube group, but they're called Seek Discomfort.
Yeah, because if you're not willing to push past that point of discomfort, then you obviously didn't want it bad enough.
There's going to be inconveniences. I'll tell you right now, when you're going through transformation or changes or to do something better, yeah, there are going to be inconveniences, but that's all a part of the game. You can't live your life in fear. Well, you can, but your life is going to suck.
Yeah, I know. Well, but so that was my point with golf is I went from me being in this construct of, okay, I have to get so much time, effort, blah, blah, blah. Like everybody was putting in my head, like there's no way in hell you can be an 80s golfer. And I went at it like my first year, which I only maybe played 30 rounds. I was already getting in the low hundreds. I was like, dude, I know I can crack
So an 80s
90s.
golfer, you mean like you're wearing like neon?
No, that's a 70s.
Like a mullet?
67. I'm an 80s golfer. I'm a 70s golfer, man.
With the fucking tam and the little fucking
I'm like driving up to the course in my Partridge Family Volkswagen.
But yeah, so I put it out to like a bunch of people that had been golfing for 10, 15, 20 years. And I was like, dude, I'm in my first year and a half, I'm going to shoot in the 80s. And they're like, there's no way in hell. And I mean, all of them were adamantly like, F you, this is bullshit. There's no way. Because it was them limiting themselves. Because I had this expectation that I could, and I kept it at such a just enjoy it for what it is. It's a fucking game. Have fun. My coach kept me in that mentality, and I practiced for it. I played for it. And again, by the specific rules. If the ball went out of bounds, I'm taking my strokes, and it's like, so I'm literally playing the game and having fun. Dude, in less than a year and a half, I was shooting in the 80s consistently.
Wow.
And people were just like, there's no way in hell. It's like, but dude, that was my focus. I was so driven to just not do it out of like fear. It was like, I did it because it's like, dude, this is fun. This is me being grounded. This is, my me time, my zen, as I always say. And it's just like, and I also kind of wanted to do it just to prove a point. It's like, dude, F you, tell me I can't do it. I mean, Bruce Lee shit. Tell me I can't take 2 inches away from you and knock you on your ass. He did it over and over again. Like physically, science says that's not capable.
1 inch punch.
Yeah, dude, and Bruce Lee would do it. So you tell me what physics are. I mean, it was the Matrix, the joke when he's like, when they're sitting there doing kung fu back and forth and he knocks him down. He's like, is that oxygen that you think you're breathing? You're just like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, because you're in a computer system right now. Do you think you're really breathing oxygen, bro? Like, come on, man. Like, you need to be able to separate, this dimension from this dimension. Like, I don't know. I think that's the point of this is being those interdimensional beings like fifth dimension as light and love. Here we are in this 3-dimensional world trying to exist on that and know what that human experience is. Yeah, I mean, like, I think you said it the other night when we were on Dakota, was freaking Harry Too Scary. Do basic instructions before leaving Earth. We're supposed to be able to learn how it is to be light and love in this entity and this raw, omnipotent being, but also know what it is to be of physical realm, to know what, possession is, or to have, perception and mentality, and, it's just to find balance. I think that's a good word, balance.
Can I have an amen? Hallelujah.
Testify.
Hey, I have my moments. I blacked out. What did I just say right there? He's over here writing notes like he's a freak.
I'm looking down at my questions, and I realized I had one that I was just curious, like, so being in tune with these kind of like the spiritual realm, right? To get some of these insights that you get, that, like, do you feel that's turned you into kind of a magnet for all kinds of other stuff, or do you just kind of don't get on that frequency at all?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
I know. I didn't even get that question.
You're open to the spirit world. There's things out there that may be trying to get into you and
it's interesting.
Convince you in a certain, whatever. There's things that are negative or.
The thing is, I say my prayers every day, and I literally visualize the white light coming into my life every day, and I see we all have guardian angels around us 24/7, at least 2. Every single individual on this planet has at least 2 guardian angels.
Can you perceive other people's angels?
Yeah.
We're going to talk later.
Oh, we're talking.
I mean, we're talking now.
I sound like a Cheech Jones River. Can we talk?
A pocketbook is neither a pocket nor a book. Discuss. But anyway, so yeah, everybody has two angels around them at all times.
At all times. And an angel can only intervene into your life if you ask them to intervene. The only time an angel can intervene into your life when you don't ask them is if you're in a do or die situation and it's not your time to die. Okay. They will come in to save you. And the reason for that is because God gave everybody free will. So the angels would be intervening, breaking the free will. But
if it's your will to be saved, then...
Well, only it sounds like if the universe's timeline says, no, this is the way it's supposed to be. Like, sorry, you
this is the way it's going down, all right? Yeah, right? We don't care what you want. This is the way it's supposed to be. It's written.
See, what had happened was
like the whole thing about certain situations being mutable, and some just they have to happen. Like it's part of your spiritual growth, or because that's what we're here for, right?
This is the prayer that I say every day. I call upon all my guardian angels, my loving guardian angels. Thank you for intervening into my life today. I give them permission to intervene into my life. Thank you for helping create peace, harmony, balance, and serenity. Thank you for all the beautiful blessings and miracles you wish to share with me today. Thank you for opening up the doors of opportunity with people and situations in my life. Thank you for keeping true love into my life. Thank you for your beautiful white light of love over myself, my daughter, my close friends, my helpers, my family members. In the name of the Holy Spirit, amen. When I say I call upon the white light to protect, I literally visualize a white light over me. So like even while I'm driving or whatever. So when shit hits the fan in the middle of the day about anything, I come to a place of acceptance in the moment of what just happened. Even though I don't like it and it sucked, I go, okay. So it's about accepting what just happened because I can't change what has already happened. All I could just say is, all right, well, and then somehow the angels intervene into my situation, whether it be about money or people or whatever it is. And I choose to let go of fear. And that's when they say, get out of your own way, let the universe. And more times than not, and I'm blown away how the outcome comes out even better than I ever anticipated. Like, I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. And I just choose to let it go.
I just magooed my way through that entire thing, and somehow it worked.
It did. But when you're trying to control, there are people who are control freaks, and they micromanage every little thought, every little move, every little person in their life. You are so killing life. You're killing the opportunities, the possibilities. And when you're trying to overcompensate for the people who you love so much, you are taking away their confidence. You're taking away their security because you're saying, I don't trust you. I'm going to do it for you to make sure it's done right, rather than letting them make their mistakes. You have to allow people to make mistakes or to screw up because that's the way they're going to learn. But when you're trying to manage and micro control every little thing, has nothing to do with them and has to do with your own insecurities when people are like that.
So that's pretty much what the 4 agreements talk about. If you wanted to like sum that up, those of you at home.
Can I have an egg, man?
Right? Yes. All right. So backtrack. Everybody has 2 guardian angels around them. Can you either see, perceive, or communicate with mine?
Yeah.
Do they have names, and should I be respectful and call them by that, or?
One is called Bubba. I'm only kidding.
I was going to be like, yo, that's dope, for real?
Get out of here.
Hell yeah, I'd be like, yo, Bubba, what's up? Dude, every morning I would say, like, what's up? Sounds like it would be my age. Well, but, long story short, that was actually one of my nicknames from my dad. I would have
to be in meditation. I like in that frame. I'm I'm spiritual and something, like when I look at the cards, I have to literally get in that meditated mindset to get that. Right now, I'm just telling you, it's not coming to me what you're, I don't want to just say a name just to say a name. Well,
no, that's why I said, can you or, so yeah, no, if you, yes or no.
What is it with, and I'm very serious with this. It sounds silly what I'm about to say. What is it with the name of Maxwell, Max? There's something with Maxine. Name.
All right, so Max or Maxwell actually is my daughter's uncle who has my last hot rod, which was a Toyota. But then you also then just said Maxine. Maxine is my father's mother who is no longer. So that would be my grandmother on my father's side.
Okay, she's the one that supports you. She's the one that supports you the most, and she's very, very proud of you for
Abuela?
For doing
so she never told me that she loved me until my mother wrote her a 7-page letter and said, your grandkids don't even realize that you love them if you do. And then she came up to me at a wedding and was just like, grandma loves you, right? And I was like, yeah. Well, it was the weirdest fucking thing ever.
She spends all her time right now supporting you. She spends a lot of her time supporting the family and supporting you. And a lot of times you do not realize your mistakes until you've crossed over. It's like the movie, Scrooge. You realize you get to see it behind the scenes. So you have an epiphany of the cause and effect that you've had on other people. And they go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But she says, I do love you. I do support you. She goes, I wasn't like that because I felt like I didn't deserve love. I felt like that was never given to me, so I didn't know how to share love. It's not that you did not deserve it. I just didn't know how to share it or give it. She goes, it wasn't you personally. She goes, please forgive me. She goes, but just know I love you and I appreciate you and I do support you. Did she always use the word pain in my ass? You're a pain in my ass.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you're a pain in my ass. Everyone's a pain in my ass.
Well, that was my thing. So my dad, she would ask him to do stuff around the house. He would do it, and she'd be like, it would be like absolutely the wrong way to do it. It didn't look right. It didn't work right. Somehow or another, it wasn't right. As well as there was a set of kids on the block that were not of relation that she treated like freaking gold, but then treated her actual grandkids like absolute crap. So it's like we got to see publicly she can love and provide, and it was
because that's exactly what was given to her growing up. So I'm going to teach everybody a little lesson of life. So people who are little, I don't know why this keeps on moving away from me. Where the hell is it going?
Same reason why the table raises. Hey,
there you go. So you have people here who are like your grandmother that when you're on the outskirts, all right, they're in here, they are trying to gain your approval because you're not a part of their life. The people who are actually in their cup, when you're in their inner circle, it could be your love partner, it could be your family members, it could be your close friends or coworkers. But when you're in somebody's inner circle, they will treat you the same way they treat themselves. Okay. So the feeling that they have for themselves, that they treat you just the same way how they feel about themselves. The people who are on the outside in the public, they are trying to gain their approval because they take it for granted, all their loved ones, because it's unconditional and you're not going anywhere. Even if I hate you, I curse you, I give you nothing, whatever, I'm still your grandmother. You're still my grandson, no matter what. So I'm going to treat you that way.
Yeah.
And, no matter what, you're not going anywhere. Whereas if it's a friend, screw you. I don't need you. See, so you have to earn that trust. You have to earn that love with other people who are not in your inner circle. But the moment that you get too close to them, boom, they'll treat you like crap. Everything changes.
Oh, yeah.
But that's only with people who are very insecure within themselves. People who actually have love for themselves, they will love you the same way they love themselves. And you'll get even more because you're that close.
Yeah, I believe that.
So it literally goes by how you feel about yourself. So somebody who has a very moody personality, or, when you get too close, then, you know what? Stay on that outer circle and let them earn your love and your trust and your acceptance, whatever.
PSA. Public service announcement. Write that down, everybody.
Not to mention the other 23 letters of the alphabet.
But no, I do agree because, so psychology has taught me a lot of that, because then I can see the things from my father's mother to my actual mom and the way their relationship is. And so that's what I love about psychology is it takes my intuition and the physical construct of what I'm dealing with, and kind of gives it it allows me to have an understanding, and it's like I can just rationalize or understand and be like, well, that's what it is, and I accept it. You know, I don't, going back to the 4 agreements, one of the big things is don't take anything personal, as well as don't assume. So don't sit there and say, you know, just because I feel this way, this is the way it is. No, that's your feeling, accept it as that feeling. But at the same time, also be like, that is my feeling and that's it. So whether somebody does think or feel this way has nothing to do with who I am or how I feel about me. And I have to have that separation. So, I mean,
for your own protection.
Absolutely. Agreed.
You know, so you were asking me your questions before we started the program, and you know, and I didn't have the gift growing up throughout my kid years. You know, not until I was 27. So my idea of having the sixth sense growing up was having a sense of humor. That was the sixth sense. But I never had.
But that's a great thing to have, because honestly,
call me sometime when you don't have class. Hey,
humor can be defensive and it can be offensive.
Exactly,
it's a protective.
It's a protective mechanism. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, coping mechanism.
Coping mechanism.
Absolutely. Well, because like you said, most comedians are very depressed, seeing therapists, so on and so on. They use that as
you can use it to cut. You can use it to defend yourself. You could. Yeah, I mean, it's just.
I know that's why we use it to cut each other, but make sure we laugh with and at each other. It keeps us grounded. You know what I mean?
You know, people ask me, "Hey, Artie, growing up, did you have intuition?" I said, "I told you I didn't go to college. I didn't have no intuition. I never got tuition.
There was no tuition and nothing.
No tuition here.
I know, right? Call me sometime when you don't have any class. Hey, dude, that's all.
It wasn't until after my college year I got intuition. Yo.
I know, right? Did you ever go to college? Yeah, the parties were good. Hey, what? No. Where'd you go to school? All of them.
That's right.
What? Yeah. No, that's. I did. No, I was like 16 and like hanging out with like the local colleges and stuff, but that's only because I had the cats who it's like, we can get the beer and like sneak in. It's just like, oh, you wanted alcohol?
You had the connection.
Here you go. Yeah, we got whatever you want. Don't worry about it. You know, as I am like, you know, adult, and I'm just like, holy crap. I didn't even realize that I was the man. I just thought everybody had the hook. This isn't how everybody rolls? What? I just thought it was our turn. I didn't, you know.
I've never seen that much natty ice in one room before.
Oh my God.
Growing up, he was like Flip Wilson. The devil made me do it.
Dude, I just got Dana Carvey. Who could it be? Satan.
Or you see the good angel and the bad angel in Animal House.
Dude, I was thinking, dude, so
Shut
earlier.
up.
My head. No, so earlier when you were telling the story about how the hot chick or whatever was sitting there just like, oh, who do you be like, so what I see? Be like, yeah, fuck her brains out. Yeah, squeeze her as I'm Dude, I literally had the Animal House scene in my head when you were telling that story. So that's funny you say that, dude. Yeah, fuck yeah. But again, you can't make movies like that anymore.
No.
Which I'm pretty sure isn't that where we started, was like Mel Brooks and like how you
we can't on a down note like that.
You have Porky's, you got Animal House,
oh man, so
Up in Smoke. You know,
I just watched
it will happen, dude.
Stewardess School, which was like very much a Porky style movies. I mean, it was the extension of those same kind of guys.
Porky's, yeah, great movie,
but it was like, oh dude, I mean, because that was I think 80 and 82. Right?
I don't know the exact, but yeah.
But I'm pretty, it was something like, I want to say it was like pre-80s or, dude, you're pointing at the freaking top. Dude, normally it's me like, bro, you gotta shut up.
I'm just reminding you. Lord of mercy.
Boy.
Up.
Dude, but no, yeah, you can't make movies like Porky's anymore or freaking Blazing Saddles or Spaceball. I mean, dude, even Spaceball.
Porky's is 81.
It's too offensive.
81. And then I think it was like, 82 for Porky's 2?
I think maybe they're just trying to abolish humor altogether, maybe. I don't know.
Well,
I think it's so hard to be a comedian anymore.
It was 83. Okay, so it was 2 years after.
The first time I saw Blazing Saddles, I cried. I cried with laughter at the camp scene. I cried with laughter.
Dude,
my stomach was hurting.
Dude, I don't. No, so
and Young Frankenstein, dude, when they were with the door and the knockers. My God, what big knockers! Oh, thank you.
Dude, so I saw Ghostbusters was the first movie I ever saw in a movie theater.
Really?
Dude, literally the first ever movie I saw on the big screen. Second movie I see on the big screen is Spaceballs. My mom takes me and she's just like, oh, you like Mel Brooks, do you? And I was like, yeah. She's like, Blazing Saddles. I'm like 8.5 years old. And she shows me. So I got raised on Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, George Lopez.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, really off-colored humor, but very intelligent.
Right.
So, I mean, me being introduced to Mel Brooks as like Spaceballs and then freaking Blazing Saddles, I was like, this man is a genius. Why doesn't everybody know? Why we need to select? I'm like, get out in the streets. We need to it's like we have to, but you can't do that shit anymore. And it's kind of sad.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. Which do we have to end on a sad note now? That I do. No, I ruined it. Yeah. No. I killed it. I killed the room. I'm so sorry.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, because we'll finish on a high note. We got a couple more minutes. We can. I'm sure there's some oohs and ahs that we could cut out.
Well, I have one. So since we're just talking about movies and good old classic movies, Artie, what would be your go-to comfort? Like if you were sick in bed and you just needed something as a pick-me-up, what's your go-to like movie if you had a DVD to pick out of the closet at your leisure?
A deserted island, only one movie in this. It's like stuck in the DVD player.
Yesterday, the movie Yesterday.
Ooh.
With the Beatles. It's about the Beatles.
That was just like
where the whole world forgets about them. Like
the whole world forgets except for the one fellow who uses and this one young. Did you see it?
Well, yeah. No, my brain works with like movie.
He's the only guy that remembers all the Beatles songs, and he I heard about this, but I didn't watch it.
Oh, he performs them as if they were his own, and everybody thinks he's.
And he didn't want to, and it just fell into it, and people were thinking he was the greatest songwriter. He says, "What do you mean I'm the greatest?" He says, "This is one of the greatest songs ever written in history." And they go, "Oh my God, aren't you?" Because he was playing it on his guitar, and his friends were saying, "Well, aren't you like all full of yourself?" He goes, "What are you talking about?" And then he goes to the computer to look up the Beatles, and it shows just the Beatles, not Paul, John, and he goes to try to get Beatles. Paul, John, and stuff, and he ends up getting Priest, Paul, John, all the saints and Priest, and he couldn't believe it that none of the Beatles of anything was acknowledged, and it all happened with the world shutting down electronically. For like about 30 seconds or 15 seconds.
It was like that was just kind of...
Y2K should have was this. Remember that?
What was that?
Y2K.
Y2K, where everybody was waiting till midnight to hit.
Oh, yes.
Electronics.
Yes.
The world was shut down.
I was literally in the Pacific Ocean sipping on freaking Dom Perignon Cuvier by the bottle, watching that shit. Oh yeah, bougie as fuck. It's a long story and I'll explain why later, but dude, for real, like literally in the Pacific Ocean on a massive cruise liner, sipping like Dom Perignon Cuvier by the fucking bottle, like I'm Lil Wayne or some shit.
Oh, listen, if you want to
Here I am freaking third playing asshole in the dining room like it's...
I mean, I was sharing the bottle. Don't get me wrong. We had a couple, and everybody was allowed to sip. I didn't give a shit. There was no like, diseases or nothing back then. It was just like, let me wipe the bottle. And I was like, fuck, here, sip it away, bro. I got fucking more of these. All right, I literally did. It would do. I mean, they weren't mine. They were at my access. So I didn't.
If you want to see a guaranteed excellent fun movie to watch, see the movie Ghost Town. It's not a horror film.
I feel like I do.
I feel like I've seen this.
I'm catching like a trailer picture or something or other with
Ghost Town. It's about a dentist who has like no sense of humor whatsoever, and he could see dead people, and he doesn't realize they're dead.
Oh God!
And it's a very famous comedian too. I don't know
It's Ricky Gervais.
Yes. Incredibly funny.
Oh my God!
And very heartwarming at the end of the movie.
JD, will you please?
I promise you're going to love that movie.
Send that in our chat. I've seen the commercial for that, and I was just like, holy shit! And then I forget what platform. I think I have that saved somewhere actually.
Yeah, Ghost Town.
I love Ricky Gervais though. He's fucking hilarious.
He is.
On Amazon.
Oh, I got both.
I know.
Okay.
I know we're already
in the group chat, please.
I know we're already risking going over, but I just
we've gone over.
because I was
we can't go over any further. We've already gone over.
Listen, because I was doing my homework when I was catching up on some of your videos that I saw out there.
And I'm very flattered, by the way.
One of the things that really caught my attention was a conversation that we had before about this whole, like, how does this work? You call it the video game style. What life
simulation
is,
theory,
the simulation theory,
slash the Matrix training program.
That whole idea that you kind of get to review your past life and choose where you're going next. That you've made that decision before now and before this life, before you're born.
Before you're born, you already know how you're going to die, when you're going to die. You picked your parents. You already know the major challenges in your life before you're born. And the people who have died, your loved ones who have passed away, they're not dead. They're literally not dead. Their body has died, but your soul and spirit is who you are. So your soul and spirit right now is using your body to express itself. So the death part, when the death does happen, it's the body that stops functioning. I don't know how it gets over there. It's the body that's the body that stops functioning, and the soul will lift up out of the body and goes into a different dimension. That's why I'm able to communicate to people's loved ones who have passed away, because they're not dead. They communicate to me like I'm communicating to you. I'm communicating to you from body to body, person to person, but to communicate. Yeah, the energy source. So I just go.
Did you ever see the Disney's movie Mulan?
No.
Damn it.
All right. Anyway.
I don't want to go yet.
We definitely have to do this again sometime soon.
Yes. And then just to touch, one thing that we discussed on break real quick was birthmarks. Do you want to explain that, Artie?
People with birthmarks on your body, that's usually how you were killed in your previous life, or where you were killed in your previous life. So whether you were stabbed or whether you were shot, or there was a major physical issue in your life.
Usually, I'm trying to think. I was like, do I have any?
And that's the birthmark.
Is there a specific type of birthmark?
So for all of you who got shot in the ass, when your birthmark, your birthmark, wherever it may be. So, but that's seriously, that's the birthmark. That's the understanding of the birthmark.
That's an expression of your past life.
That's an expression of your past. Yeah, when you're in your physical body, where you died, or where you were shot at one point, or where you were stabbed at one point, was right where your birthmark is.
So I think the only question I really have at this point right now is, can you and I be friends? Can we like hang out?
Sure.
Just, like, we can get together. Like we can like get.
I go to North Carolina too,
dude. I've been saying we need to take a trip down to her spot because it's way fucking warmer down there. Oh my God.
It's always warmer in hell.
That explains why she's a redhead.
He seems so nice.
Didn't I see you in Salem, Massachusetts?
I have been
I was just there about a month ago in Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, yeah?
I loved it there.
I haven't been to Salem since the summer of 1812.
Yeah, they've been talking about you.
Hey, remember when you used to blow bubbles when you were a kid? Yeah, she's looking for you.
She wasn't a witch. She was a whore.
A hoa.
Oh my God.
We definitely.
Yeah, just wipe around here, will you?
Oh my God.
Oh, you fit right in.
Do we just become brothers?
Here, let's cut ourselves.
All right, that's the high note we need. That's the high note we need to.
Oh wait, and check out my two books.
Oh yeah,
my two books.
Yeah, no.
Angels and Answers.
Put them up closer, man. Get a good.
Yeah, bring it closer.
Yeah, here we go.
Angels and Answers, and Have Your Angels Call My Angels. You can get it on artiehoffman.com or amazon.com. I promise you, you're going to think I wrote these books just for you. It's going to give you back your power, and it's going to get emotional power, and you're going to have a deeper understanding about life itself. You're going to learn more about yourself and about life itself. And I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to wish that the book was even larger than what it is. But I told you I sucked at school, but you're going to love the books. I promise you that.
Quick fucking note. If not now, then when? Dude, one of my favorite rappers of all time is fucking Russ. And I literally have a picture. Like, dude, my kid painted that shit. Russ, he's a rapper. He says, if not me, then who? If not now, then when? The fact that I literally just...
Shut up.
Can we be? So
you guys,
I want to take you to lunch sometime. You can even bring your mother or your. I don't care. I'm gonna take care of all of you people.
So these 2 books, you guys could share it. These 2 books are my gift to you. But you'll like it.
And where can you find or purchase those books for all the other people?
Artie, go to artiehoffman.com or go to amazon.com. And again, show them once again.
Yeah.
Have your angels call my angels, and
as well as I'll put
Angels and Answers.
Angels and Answers. Also, every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, I do a free Facebook live show where I read people for free for 1 hour.
Yeah, I'll add
people type in their questions, and there's thousands of people who join in. But
dude, I love the artwork too.
Yeah, I had really good illustrators, really good artists,
especially the fucking pencil.
So it's called Artie Hoffman's Angels and Answers, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and it's just like this. I joke around, I answer people's questions, I connect to people's loved ones who passed away. So,
right here.
I'm dope, man. I'm dope.
Yeah, no.
Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out.
Oh, my pleasure. It was so much fun.
I was
tell you the truth, I was dragging my butt getting here. I really was. I says, I hope this goes by pretty okay. And it says, whatever. But I ended up having a super, super, super great time. I really did. I enjoyed myself.
If you want to feel human, come see us.
Right.
Our new
we are the world.
We're trying.
I literally did that shit.
Shut up.
Dude, my sister was a Girl Scout. I was a Boy Scout. I literally held hands across the fucking America.
Nice.
Yeah, I was a goddamn Boy Scout. But yeah, hey, fam, thank you so much. We appreciate you. This is I'm Telling You. Yeah.
I want to thank these 2 guys and this beautiful lady for coming on my show tonight.
I mean, that is appropriate here. That is appropriate.
Would you listen to this guy? It's ridiculous.
Gee, I take it over.
Dude, fits right in. I mean, dude, fits right. This is what we do here.
It's such a nudge.
I never heard of such a thing. What are you kidding me?
The sheriff is ding, ding, ding. What? But yeah, no, this is I'm Telling You. We greatly appreciate you. I'm Philly D.
It's Mr. Gemini.
Clickety clack a fact check of this day, Dave.
Special
and
guest.
Artie, the one-man party, Artie Hoffman.
Artie, the one-man party, Artie
Hoffman.
If you want to reach out to us, please hit us up. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I also do private sessions. I do.
Book an Artie party.
I'm in Woodbridge, New Jersey, and I'm just as accurate over the phone as I am in person. And I do Artie parties. If you want a piece of me at your house, if you're buying, I'm flying. I'm there for you, no matter what. I'm telling you. And I do events, and I do fundraisers.
You want a piece of me?
I'm telling
732-778-7173. 732-778-7173. Or there's my 1-900 number. Only kidding.
Only fan.
1-900 ooh baby baby. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, this has been an absolutely impeccable expression of exactly what we do. Yeah, no, you are welcomed in this house at any point in time. You and I are going to get to retire. Yeah, no, this is a thing. Yeah, no, fam, we greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for stopping by. And as always, be good to yourself. Be good to everything else.
Much love.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.